Hello students, we know that the tense of a verb shows the time of an action or event. We have learned about simple and continuous tenses so far. Let us learn a new tense now called perfect tense. Kishneet and Komal are best friends. They write letters to each other. Kishneet received a letter from Komal and wrote a letter to her in response. Let us look at the letter she wrote to Komal. Dear Komal, I received your letter today. I read it just now. It reminds me of our school days. I'm learning Spanish nowadays. I have learned some common Spanish phrases. I hope we meet soon. Gracias. Thank you in Spanish. Your friend Kishneet. Now, look at the sentences highlighted in yellow. Can you identify the tense of the underlined verbs? Yes, they are in simple past and simple present tenses. Here, the verb am learning is in the present continuous tense. Let us revise the purpose of these two tenses. Simple tenses, past, present, and future, are used to show the time of an action. For example, the verb loves in the sentence Mahua loves to read novels is in the simple present tense. It shows that Mahua still loves to read novels in the present. Similarly, continuous tenses are used to show an ongoing action. For example, the verb is reading in the sentence Mahua is reading a novel shows that the action of reading a novel is happening now. Now, let us look at a new form of the verb learn as Kishneet has used in this sentence. It is called the perfect tense. The word perfect comes from the word perfectus, which means completed. So, perfect tenses are used to show the completion of an action. For example, in the sentence, Ali had packed his bag before he went out, the verb had packed is in the perfect tense. It shows that Ali had completed the action of packing his bag before he went out. However, the simple past tense also shows a complete action in the past. Let us understand the purpose of perfect tenses in detail to avoid any confusion. The first purpose of the perfect tense is to show an order or sequence of actions. As we got to know through Kishneet's letter, she read the letter and then she wrote a letter in response. So, there are two actions. Reading Komal's letter and writing a letter to Komal. It is clear that Kishneet read Komal's letter before she wrote a letter to Komal. So we use the perfect tense to put these actions in an order or a sequence. In the sentence, Kishneet had read Komal's letter before she wrote to her. The verb had read is in the perfect tense. Note that this purpose helps to specify the time of an action by answering the question, when exactly did Kishneet write the letter? Let us now look at the second purpose of perfect tenses. We know that Kishneet is learning Spanish. However, we can add further details about how much she has progressed in her learning. In other words, how much is she done with? So we can say that she has learned some common Spanish phrases and is now focusing on learning new ones. The verb has learned is in the perfect tense. It shows the extent of completion of the action of learning Spanish. So, to recap, these are the two purposes of perfect tenses: to show the order of action, when, and to show the extent of completion of an action, how much. It is important to note that just like simple and continuous tenses, perfect tenses also have three forms: past, present, and future. In these sentences, the verb water has been used in the three forms: had watered, has watered, and will have watered. We use a specific form of verbs in simple and continuous tenses. For example, we use the ing form of verbs in continuous tenses. However, we use a different form of verbs in perfect tenses called past participles. Participles are formed from verbs. For regular verbs, past participles usually end in ed or d. For example, walk becomes walked and decide becomes decided. They are written differently for irregular verbs. For example, hide becomes hidden, think becomes thought, and give becomes given. Let us recap what we have learned about perfect tenses. They are used to show the completion of an action, and they also have three forms: past, present, and future. They have past participles.